This is 400 Lakeshore Drive. It's a site that's been waiting for its moment after one of the city's most ambitious skyscraper projects failed before it could rise. But today, this location is transforming, and the skyline of Chicago is about to change. From an unfortunate dream to a new vision, let's explore what's happening at this crucial spot in the heart of Chicago. To help me tell the story, I packed my bags, hopped on a plane, and traveled to the Windy City. Chicago is an incredible city, and despite some of its well-known challenges, my limited experience in the area has been very pleasant. It boasts an impressive blend of architecture and history, making it one of the most iconic cities in America, all of which is nestled at the meeting point of Lake Michigan and the Chicago River. Today, we're zooming in on that very spot, at 400 Lakeshore Drive, a piece of land with a hopeful future that bridges these two waterways. The whole remained a relic as one of the most ambitious, yet ultimately failed skyscraper projects in recent history. Here's a quick 60-second summary of what happened with this project and why it was ultimately unsuccessful. In July of 2005, Christopher Carley of the Fordham Company proposed the Fordham Spire, a 116-story tower combining hotel and condominium spaces. Designed by renowned architect Santiago Calatrava, the tower was planned to reach 2,000 feet, making it one of the tallest buildings globally. Despite its striking design, it faced criticism, including from Donald Trump, who questioned its financial viability and security. Unable to secure sufficient funding, Carley passed the project to developer Garrett Kelleher in 2006, who renamed it the Chicago Spire. Kelleher revised the plans, removing the hotel and antenna, and focused on luxury condominiums. By 2007, the project was gaining momentum, with condo sales and city approvals. However, the 2008 global financial crisis led to a halt in construction, leaving only a massive excavation at the site. The project faced mounting legal challenges, and Shelbourne Development struggled to manage the loans and lawsuits. By 2009, the Chicago Spire was abandoned. Efforts to revive the project through union loans and additional financing proved unsuccessful. By 2010, the bank filed a foreclosure lawsuit. Kelleher's attempts to reorganize or regain control of the project were ultimately unsuccessful. In 2014, after years of litigation, the site was transferred to Related Midwest, marking the official end of the Chicago Spire project. But the 76-foot deep cofferdam remained, and because of its location, Chicago residents had a hard time not noticing it, and it quickly became an infamous eyesore. However, things were about to change. The project encompasses two primary areas, the site where the north and south towers will sit and the fully redeveloped DuSable Park. In May of 2018, Related Midwest unveiled its initial plans for the site. The proposal featured towers reaching 1,100 feet and 850 feet. These would be connected at ground level by a podium that included 2 restaurants and a ballroom. The development was set to include 300 condominium units, 175 hotel rooms, and 500 rental apartments. However, in 2018, the proposal was rejected due to concerns about the development's impact on the surrounding neighborhood, specifically regarding the inclusion of hotel rooms and the size of the podium. In February 2019, the Chicago Plan Commission granted Related an extension of its zoning rights to allow for revisions to the design. By June 2020, the Chicago City Council approved an updated plan, which included significant changes. The towers were scaled down, with the north tower reduced to 875 feet and the south tower reduced to 765 feet. The hotel and condominium components were completely removed, and the podium size was scaled back. The architecture firm behind the design is Skidmore, Owings Merrill. More commonly referred to as SOM, they have arguably the best portfolio of skyscraper design in the world. Within SOM, this effort was led by David Childs, who was also the primary architect for the One World Trade Center. The design will showcase bay windows in a champagne-colored panel system, moving away from the originally proposed terracotta exterior. The towers reimagine the Chicago window, a hallmark of the city's historic architecture, into a shallow bay of floor-to-ceiling glass that promises stunning views of the lake. The towers taper to frame the lake view while angling back toward the city. But the steps of the building are not symmetrical, they're staggered. This is because the winds blowing north off Lake Michigan would be less organized when trying to form a vortex, resulting in reduced sway for the building. According to Related, the building's glass facade spans nearly 400,000 square feet and has been described as bird-friendly. The two buildings will provide a total of 635 new apartments, including 127 affordable units. Once completed, the North Tower will rank as the 13th tallest building in Chicago. The development will encompass over 1 million square feet of floor space and feature 3 levels of underground underground parking. The first floor of the North Tower will include the lobby, a grab-and-go cafe, the underground parking entrance, and, of course, a much-needed dog spa. Related Midwest will commit $10 million to the development of DuSable Park. They've also agreed to a list of infrastructure and design improvements at their cost. These include new security cameras, lights and landscaping along the Riverwalk, and improved pedestrian crossings. All of this work will finally extend the Chicago Riverwalk to the lake on the north side of the river, providing access through an underpass that crosses Lakeshore Drive. In total, 400 Lakeshore will feature 4.5 acres of public land, including a plaza between the towers with different amenities, a 2-story podium, and public art. Construction began in January of 2024. The general contractor for the job is LR Contracting, which is Related Midwest's construction division. Assisting them is BOA Construction. You might think that having an existing hole for the foundation would be a benefit, due to the lack of excavation that would need to occur. But in reality, it's a major challenge. To start things off, the over 2,000 cubic yard concrete mat was placed in late February. According to Urbanize Chicago, over 250 concrete trucks arrived in steady succession every 2 minutes during a 12-hour window, delivering a staggering 9 million pounds of concrete. And as impressive as that may sound, the building structure will be composed of 59,000 cubic yards or 236 million pounds of concrete, along with 5,520 tons or 13 million pounds of rebar. The groundbreaking ceremony was held in June 2024. As part of the ceremony, a steel beam was signed and eventually placed into the cofferdam. The first phase of the project, which is currently underway, involves building the North Tower and developing the park. As of the time of filming this, in late September, the foundation is rapidly being built up. There's a massive crane on site that was very active for the entire stretch that I was there. As you can see from this picture, the concrete and rebar have finally emerged above ground level, and there are several columns being built up across the site. It seems that all evidence of the cofferdam that sat here previously has been completely wiped out. It's always so interesting seeing projects like this in person, especially at such an early stage. According to sources, the North Tower is expected to be completed and move-in ready by 2027. Back in January of 2024, it was revealed that Related Midwest secured $500 million in construction financing for the 2-tower project. The financing was sourced from tax-exempt bonds issued by the IHDA with backing from Wells Fargo and other lenders. Additionally, Related Midwest and its partners are contributing equity, though the overall project cost remains undisclosed. The development marks a shift from the original $1 billion plan unveiled in 2018, which, as I mentioned earlier, included a hotel and condominiums. Instead, the developer revised its focus exclusively on residential units, looking to tap into Chicago's booming multifamily housing market. The head of the Chicago office for Related Midwest noted that the growth in the sector can be partially attributed to the fact that more highly educated professionals are moving to downtown Chicago than to any other major city center in the US. But despite extensive research, I couldn't find any definitive evidence to support this claim. However, it is reasonable to assume that highly educated individuals are more likely to live in or near major cities, as these areas tend to offer greater professional and career opportunities. This project was a lot of fun to cover, and I want to say thank you to everyone still watching. The support you're giving the channel is the sole reason that I'm able to go out and see these projects in person, and in turn, produce higher quality videos. As crazy as it sounds to me, the channel has recently passed 14,000 subscribers, and it's been growing incredibly fast for the past few months. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.